Hey Leopards! Hi! Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much to Dancing Leopard for inviting me to come on and share some wellness tools with you today. So I'm very, very excited to be here. My name's Jody Shield. I'm a success coach, a self-improvement author. I'm a digital entrepreneur, and I'm also presenter of the Be Electric podcast, which is all about human performance. And why it excites me so much to be here is that I know that many of you are going through a really interesting time, whether you're in a good space or whether you're feeling the fear. Maybe you're feeling quite triggered at the moment whilst you're in lockdown. Maybe you are feeling anxious or overwhelmed. You could also be feeling the pressure to make the most of this time and do something productive. Wherever you are at right now, and many of you are going to be at different levels, I am going to support you today. I'm going to support you to release anything negative that you're holding on to. I'm going to support you to change your mindset. And I'm going to support you to move forward and make the most out of your time here in quarantine. Or how to be productive in captivity. I think that's quite a nice way of putting it. So there's lots going on at the moment. At the same time, things are changing by the day, by the hour, by the second, and there's nothing that we can do about that. And that might sound a little bit scary, but I'm not here to scare you in any way. In fact, what I'm here to do is to help you create a bit more certainty, to help you feel a bit more secure, to help you take a big deep breath in and feel relaxed. Because there's one thing that I know is that in adversity or in a tricky time or in times of flux, times that are ever changing like this, if we can find our own center and if we can get grounded and if we can feel balanced, then you're going to be able to move through this period of time in a much easier way. And I don't know about you, but I would much prefer to be able to move through this time in a smooth way. Okay, so let's dive in. And the first thing I'm going to talk to you a little bit about is releasing anxiety, releasing and letting go of anxiety, or the tightness in your chest, the tension in your shoulders, and the negative thoughts that are spiraling around in your mind, which you may be feeling. You may not be feeling, and if you don't, then this tool is going to help you regardless. So, anxiety essentially is a fear of the unknown or the future. Now, the future is unknown. We might believe that we know what's coming, but really we don't. And the reason that we don't know what's coming is because right now, you are creating your future in this moment. Think about it. The future hasn't been created yet. So during this time, some of us may think that we know what's coming, but really we don't know what's coming. So that can activate or trigger our anxiety quite easily. So how do you release and let go of your anxiety? Well, think about it for a minute. When you're feeling anxious, it means that you're usually stuck in here. And as you're stuck in here, your negative thoughts might very well be telling your body to tense up. That very commonly happens. So what we need to do is we need to support you to release and let go of the anxiety. Okay, so one of the fastest ways that I know to do that is to use the positive phrase, I surrender. I surrender. I surrender. Now, if that feels a bit weird to you, then you might want to add in a couple of words at the beginning. What you might want to add in at the beginning sounds a bit like this. My intention is to surrender. My intention is to surrender. Because when you have an intention to do something, whatever you say after the words, my intention is, it makes it happen faster. The other thing you need to know about the word surrender is that for literally thousands of years, we have surrendered in battle, in wars. It's a very common program in our collective consciousness. And so when you say to yourself, I surrender, it's like your mind and body know exactly what to do. Now, it's interesting because if you look at a phrase that means the same thing but sounds differently, I let go, somehow saying I let go can sometimes provoke more anxiety because your mind immediately starts to panic at the idea or the prospect that you're literally letting go of something, you're going to lose something. So I surrender is a really nice softening phrase. So I want you to try it out. You'll see I've got a necklace that says surrender on it. I've got that on me for a reason. It's because whenever I'm facing adversity in my own life, if I remember to say to myself, I surrender, I surrender, I surrender, it signals to my mind and to my body that I'm ready to relax. And when you relax, you release the tension, and then you can feel more supported instantly. You can feel more at peace instantly. And that's where you want to get to during this time. If you're in a good place and you're actually listening to this and saying, yes, but I don't feel anxious right now, I still surrender a couple of times a day, because surrendering is really amazing at instructing your mind to let go of control. Now, a lot of us are control freaks. We like to really grip on, we like to feel like we're in control of an uncontrollable situation, which of course we feel like we're in right now, an uncontrollable situation. So I surrender signals to the mind that you can let go of control. And actually, it's quite good to let go of control in these situations because you can't control what's going on. And the more you instruct yourself to let go of control, the more you'll easily be able to go into a kind of natural flow in your life. And if that doesn't make logical sense to you right now, my invitation is to give it a go anyway. Give it a go anyway. Remember that right now, looking after your mind and your mental health is really, really important. Really important. Okay, so on that note, let's talk about a tool that is tangible. Tool that you can feel yourself using. A tool that you know can instantly support you to feel calmer and to feel more relaxed. Now, tapping or EFT is a great self-help tool, and usually I teach it on stage of thousands of people, and yet it's also really good to teach as a self-help tool as well. Okay, so I'm going to teach you one tapping point today, and we're going to dive in really fast. So this is really great when you're feeling the overwhelm, the pressure, and the emotions have started to rise up in your body. So if you identify your writing hand, I'm right-handed, so I'm going to put my right hand up. If you're left-handed, you do your left hand. So right hand, I'm going to identify the outside edge of my left hand here, and I'm going to take 3 fingers of my writing hand, and I'm going to start tapping on what I call the karate chop point, right? So just tap with me now, and I'll just explain what's going on. So my invitation is to tune in to any anxious feelings or anxious thoughts or pressure or overwhelm right now. And as you're doing that, what's amazing is that the tapping, it sends neutralizing or calming signals up the nervous system, right to the fight or flight response part of the brain, your amygdala. And it immediately tells your fight or flight response part of the brain to calm down. So as you tune in on any negative emotions or negative thoughts that you're thinking or feeling right now, do it with me now. What will happen is it will start to bring stuff up to the surface. And so what you can do is you can tap at the same time, and the tapping neutralizes the negative energy or the negative thoughts. So if you're feeling a bit clogged up or blocked, or maybe you want to make the most of this time and be productive, but you've no idea what to do or how to make it happen, then tapping just releases the fog, the brain fog. It releases the negativity, like I just mentioned, and it allows you to feel clear quite quickly. You want to take some nice deep breaths in at the same time, like so. Now, there's more to this technique, but I'm just going to teach you one tapping point today. There are several. So just focus on the one for today, because just focusing on one and mastering one tapping point is going to help you so much in the long term. All right. Okay, so the final thing I'm going to share with you is really, really simple. And it's so simple that I often forget about it because it is so easy. However, I need to remind myself of this every day. And I'm an entrepreneur and I've got a big team of people to manage, and we have a really successful company. And yet this one thing helps me so much every time, every morning I need to really get focused. And that is to ask yourself, what is one thing that I can do today? What's one thing that I can do today? Like, what's my one thing that I can focus on? Not 20 things, not 5 things. What is my one thing? And I want you to focus 100% of your energy and focus in on this one thing. Really dive in, like focus everything, your heart and soul, into this one thing and move this one thing forward. Focus on nothing else but this one thing. And then once you have completed the one thing, you can then move on to the next one thing. But you really need to focus all of your energy on the one thing first of all. So ask yourself every morning, what's the one thing that I can do to focus on today? What's one thing that I can do? And just focus everything in on that one thing. And what I want to finish on today is something that I ask my clients and my audience a lot when they're showing up to do the one thing is, are you 100% willing to be present for this one thing? Or are you 100% willing to be present for this yoga class? Or are you 100% in doing this meditation? Or are you 100% in doing these burpees or these pull-ups or these squats? That might be trickier. But ask yourself, am I 100% here right now? Because it's a really useful question. And actually, if you're half in, half out an activity or a task, the likelihood is you're only going to get 50% of the experience, and you'll end up creating a half successful success. A half successful success. Okay, so thank you again so much for listening and showing up for yourself within this. Please let the Leopard community know how this served you. And I want to give, again, a big heartfelt thanks to Dancing Leopard for inviting me to pop on today, so that you know I have created a free guided meditation for you all, which Dancing Leopard will be announcing very soon. They'll be telling you exactly how to download that free meditation very, very soon. I'm sending you lots of love, and take care of yourselves.